up, guys? I just came back. What's up, guys? I just came back from watching Justice League, and I felt like I needed to talk about it. And I'm going to do a live stream of it because why are you sliding? A live stream of it because I don't want to have the pressure of how long am I going to go with the video, then having to edit it, and I just want to take my time when going over it, so I don't want to have the stress of it running long. And I swear, if you keep sliding, we're gonna have issues. Um, okay, I think that's better. So, first of all, I think this movie is definitely better than Batman Superman. And before I continue, not sure if you were able to see this in the title of this stream already, but this is going to be a spoiler talk. So if you haven't seen the movie and you do mind spoilers, then stay away from this video for right now. But it was a very enjoyable movie. I found it to be pretty fun. There were a couple of times in which the movie kind of slowed down for me, and then I got worried because I remembered how this movie is actually like 3 minutes shy of being 2 hours long. And for me, that was sad because I was enjoying this movie so much and it was getting so many things right, at least for me, that I was like, wait, this is only going to be just a little under 2 hours long. So I feel like this movie would have been better if it would have been longer. Like this movie for me deserved to be longer. Um, so let's go into some details. First of all, I enjoyed the backstory that the characters got. For instance, I am not very familiar with Cyborg. I only knew him from that Teen Titans cartoon that would come on back in the day in Cartoon Network. This was like the year 2003, 2004, at least for me. Um, so I thought that he was a pretty cool character, but I don't know how accurate he is portrayed in that show. And I really vaguely remember it, so I don't even want to use that as my guide for describing him. But at least in this movie, it's like you could tell his conflict. He got into this explosion, whatever, this accident, and he was supposed to have died, but his father was able to pretty much keep him alive by turning him into this cyborg. And it's pretty interesting because he's having a conflict in his mind about, okay, I'm still alive and I know that I'm me, but in my mind, I am seeing these things and I'm seeing a language that I don't even know. So I'm not sure what that could possibly mean, but the way I interpret it is since he's robotic now, he has abilities that are like computerized, and I like to think of computers as them having their own little language. So maybe that is what Cyborg is trying to just figure out. But then again, I don't know about him that well. It could totally mean that he is going to have a different persona and we just don't know about it. But for me, that's the way I interpret it. It's like you're partly computer now, so you're going to see things differently from the way everybody else sees things. Wonder Woman once again was great. She had like this opening scene where she was just owning everything and everybody. Like there was supposed to be this terrorist attack, but she single-handedly was able to stop a bomb that had a timer for 20 seconds, and she also was deflecting this shooter's bullet. Like this guy had an automatic rifle or semi-automatic rifle, and he was shooting at a crowd because she had hindered his plan of blowing up the whole block with this suitcase that had bombs in it. But Wonder Woman was, using her abilities and keeping the crowd safe. And I thought that was pretty cool because so far, everything that I have seen Wonder Woman in has been great. So when I see a good character like her, it really gives me hope for future movies because I want to keep seeing action like that. So at least her character, I'm pretty satisfied with it. I don't know her that well as a character. Like DC, I'm not very familiar with, but thus far, what I have seen when it comes to her, I have really enjoyed it and I just want to keep getting more because it helps me see that it is possible to do good things with these characters. So I think DC has like this pressure of keeping up with Marvel when it comes to the cinematic universe, but like my boyfriend was saying, they should really just take their time, release something that is high quality as opposed to just releasing a lot of things just to have products out there that are selling. Just do a good job. It doesn't matter how long it takes you. It is possible for you to have a good movie. We have Wonder Woman. So just stay in touch when it comes to that. Aquaman, I think Jason Momoa was a great pick. When I knew that he was going to be Aquaman, I had zero doubt in my mind that he was a great choice. Once again, Aquaman is not a character that I'm really familiar with, but I enjoyed him in every aspect of this movie, except, and this is not really a flaw of character or actor or whatever, it's just that I wish that I would have seen a little more of him at his prime having a fight underwater because he did have a scene where he was like brawling with this, I forget the villain's name, but anyways, this um, really aged individual who's going after the mother blocks. I already forgot the names of these things. Oh my gosh, I'm so terrible. But anyways, these three blocks that grant you this power, um, like he was getting owned during that fight. Like I feel like Aquaman, being the king of seas, he is more powerful when he is underwater. But during the main showdown in the movie, he was on land and there really wasn't like a body of water near him where I would assume he could like do watery things given that that's his power, whatever his specialty. But maybe in the future we're going to get another movie with him and I hope that we do, but I would want to see more of him manifesting in water fighting because I felt like his fighting was good when he was on land, but like I said, I'm sure that he specializes more in aquatic battling, but that's not what we got in this movie. We got like a scene where he was trying to go against this dude that's stealing all of these blocks, but that was it. He got pushed to the side along with everyone else in Atlantis, and that was it. So they did say that he was kind of in the background for the most part, and what the critics are saying is true. He's not really that. Um, he's there. He has screen time. Don't get me wrong, but he's not really. Um, I don't know. His manifestation wasn't my favorite part of the movie. Put it this way. But as a character, he's pretty enjoyable, and the actor himself was a good choice. So I gotta give you that. Um, let's talk about The Flash. The Flash was good, but I'm not sure that I enjoyed the effect of lightning sparks just coming out of him every time. It's like I understand that scientifically, if you're moving at that speed, there is going to be a sonic boom constantly following you or being the result of your movements. But that, like, electricity stuff that always came out of him and then the sparks that followed it, I don't know. Maybe I'm used to Quicksilver from the X-Men, that seeing this thing just turned me off for a brief moment. But then, since the character himself is cool and fun to watch, I don't mind it as much. So, the actor, I don't know his name, but he did pull the role very well. He's like the Peter Parker of the group, like really young, saying his young people kind of stuff, you know? And the interesting thing about The Flash is that he's never really had fighting experience, and he constantly reminds you of that. Like, I've never done anything to anybody besides just pushing them, and I've never been in a battle. I don't know how to fight, so. And then I felt like Bruce Wayne was being a very good mentor for him because he's been doing heroic things for like 20 years now. So there is this part where um, Flash is like, I'm not sure that I can do anything. Like, there are these bug like entities, and I hate bugs, and they gross me out, and I just am not into fighting, so I don't see how I'm going to be useful here. And then what Batman told him was, I want you to just save one person. And when you save one person, you'll know what to do. So instinctively, he kept going back and forward, saving all of these hostages from the main villain and his little bug army that he had, the swarm of robotic. They have a name, para something, but I forget. Anyways, this is my first time seeing them, so I knew that I was going to have a problem retaining the number, not the number, the names of the enemies or any new character that I haven't seen. So, anyways, let's talk about Batman since I just mentioned him. In my opinion, I still have very fond feelings when it comes to Ben Affleck being Batman. I remember seeing The Dark Knight a couple times, and I felt like my favorite thing about The Dark Knight was the Joker. And Batman, I'm not saying he was bad, it's just that it's not what I remember the most from The Dark Knight. So, from Batman versus Superman and from the Justice League, Batman still stands out. Like, it's kind of strange to see him doing a complete 180 from what he did in Batman versus Superman, because in Batman versus Superman, he was an incredibly dark character, but in this movie, he was actually a little bit on the humorous side, and at first, that kind of weirded me out because that's not what I learned to associate Batman with. But since he is having like this guilt, I guess, from having had a conflict with Superman, you know, the whole conflict that was going on in Dawn of Justice, then at some point Wonder Woman just tells him that, like, dude, maybe guilt is just getting the best of you, and this is your way of trying to make up for you know, your mess up. So, but anyways, when it came to the recruitment of the Justice League members, it's like Flash immediately, he was on it. He was like, dude, are you kidding me? I need an adventure. I need friends. So whatever it is that you need and you want me to do, I'm in. Cyborg was kind of tricky because at first he like hacked into Bruce Wayne's computers and Diana Prince was using it, and then he actually started sending text to her via the computer. Like at some point Diana was watching something on all of the screens that, Alfred always monitors in Batman's headquarters, whatever. And then Diana Prince was able to communicate with the cyborg because the cyborg had pretty much hacked into all of those systems. And they had agreed to meet face to face. And the way this happened was Diana Prince proved to him how she is not really like a threat to him, because she was like, at the lake, I could have attacked you, but I didn't. So it was interesting because when that lake scene happened, I thought, I don't think Wonder Woman wouldn't know that he's there. I can understand if Batman doesn't know that Cyborg is there, but Wonder Woman, I feel like nothing really escapes her. So it was pretty cool to see scenes later on where Wonder Woman said something about it. Like, by the way, I knew that you were there at the lake, but I didn't see you as threatening, so I left you alone. So the cyborg ended up accepting to join, I guess because he was just convinced by what Bruce was saying. I believe he said that at some point in the movie. Like, yeah, Bruce is crazy, but this is about the only chance that we have. And then there were a couple of scenes where the Amazons had a battle going on in their little island, and it's because they were holding one of the mother block things. That scene was pretty intense, but it was so beautifully shot that I gotta give them credit on that. I was not prepared to see the whole army of Amazons just coming out. I didn't know that the Amazons had such a thing. I thought they were just like a small little tribe, but no, these people have like a whole army, like the Huns in Mulan. So I thought that was neat to see. But they all came out, and it was really not really like they all showed up to the battlefield, but it wasn't really necessary because the big apocalyptic enemy had gone away. Hi DH, yeah, I am live because there's just no way that I'm going to keep this movie discussion under 20 minutes. So I just don't want to have the pressure of wrapping this up quickly and then having to edit it later. So I just want to have a massive ramble on this topic. So you're welcome to join in if you don't mind spoilers. If you haven't seen this movie. So, anyways, thanks a lot. I will keep going. As I was saying, so then at some point they had like this flashback where they explain the origin of this conflict a little bit, and we see the Green Lantern, but I did not think of Green Lantern the way that I was expecting him to be, which was actually aiding the team. This was more of a flashback type of deal. It's not like he was actively present in our present time. He was like a flashback of what happened in the past, and he kind of disappeared. Maybe he got. I don't know what happened to him in this flashback. Maybe he got beat or something, because he just sort of like hovered over the sky, but then he sort of just disappeared. And that's the problem with watching a movie just once, that you miss so much, and this movie was like pretty big on some scenes. So I guess I'll have to rewatch that because it's possible that he got ambushed. So anyways, let me see what my boy said. I just got done cooking and having a few drinks. I have not saw the video. You are doing great. All right. I can't say that I'm into drinking, so I would like to say that's good, but but yeah, I don't drink, so hopefully you had a good time. Um, so anyways, now let's talk about Superman. Now, if you guys know me well, or at least if you were present for my Batman versus Superman discussion, which I don't think I was vlogging at the time that this came out, but anyways, Superman is my man. Like when Batman versus Superman was coming out, I was like team Superman all the way, and everybody I know was pretty much team Batman the whole time. So you have no idea how much conflict that generated. But anyway, and I kept hearing about I hate Superman, I'm all for Batman. Well, your girl doesn't. So, um, but when it comes to Superman, I kept hearing that Henry Cavill was going to be heavily CGI'd because he was filming some other movie and so much love, some other movie and needed to have his mustache. I don't know if it's because I have a bias for Superman, but I didn't notice that at all. Like, the supposed CGI of his face, like to me, he seemed normal. Now, my boyfriend says that he noticed that on the very, very, very first scene, which is pretty much a kid did a video footage of him, like trying to interview him, and it was like on portrait orientation. He did seem slim, but for me, I didn't see anything off with that because I just assumed that because this was being filmed from a phone, then it was going to look funny. Like, you cannot expect for your dimensions as a person to be accurate. But anyways, it didn't bother me because I didn't notice it. And as much as I like Superman as a character, and I guess Henry is not bad either. I just wasn't focusing on that. So just felt like I would throw that detail in there. Like maybe if you know him well and you pay attention to him well enough, then you will notice the difference. But for me, I didn't. Maybe I was too focused on the actual content of the movie to really notice that detail. So I don't know. You can roast me if you want to. But, anyways, I thought that Superman was very, very good in this movie because I felt like he felt like the version of himself that he's truly meant to be. What I mean by that is in Batman versus Superman, he was like this depressed character that was just struggling with his identity way too much. And in this movie, he was just more present, more certain. He had more personality. He felt more alive to me, not this wreck. Like Batman was incredibly dark, incredibly mean and evil, and just doing whatever, and even killing a bunch of people. But in this movie, he was actually humorous here and there. And then when it comes to Superman, it's like, yeah, he used to be this character that was like constantly feeling down or something because his existence was being questioned. Like, is this guy a threat or is this guy good? But then it turns out that he revives and it's not all flowers and dandelions. This guy actually went a little crazy because apparently he didn't know who he was. So he was attacking Wonder Woman, Cyborg. Like he used his X ray vision and he saw that the Flash, Aquaman, Wonder Woman, and Batman were humans, but then when it came to the cyborg, you only saw the heart and then the brain, and then the rest of him was like metallic. And he started just picking on Cyborg. And at first, I thought that he was like warming up because since he had been in what I thought was slumber, then I looked at it as, oh, let me see where my powers are at. But as far as I'm concerned, Superman was dead, and dead, as we know, the meaning of dead to be, like not in the slumber state that they say that Superman can get into, and then he would require a load of energy to just come back. No, this is like dead, dead, dead. But for some reason, in Batman versus Superman, I thought of him as him being just temporarily put to sleep. But I mean, this guy got stabbed in the heart with kryptonite, which is like literally his venom, his downfall. So, how are you not dead from that? So, then during this whole plot, they're trying to get Superman to be alive again. And this mother block thing is the way to get that done because it provides the energy surge that you would need to just make anything come to life. That's really how Cyborg was created. So that's how Superman comes about too. And as someone who had never heard of that before, and this is me being introduced to the concept through the cinematic universe, I guess that makes it a little challenging for me to sit here and try to explain how this works. But I enjoyed that. It felt like a great way to just bring someone back. Like, this guy was dead, but these blocks are so powerful that it is possible to bring someone like Superman back to life. So although Superman was attacking everything, that whole scene was such a beautiful work of art because, for starters, Wonder Woman was actually having a crack at him. Like, you could see how powerful she was, but of course, he will be more powerful than her and thus overwhelm her here and there. But he just decided to attack everyone because I'm guessing that's his primitive stage is to be on edge and protect himself of everything and everyone. So that's just me attempting to explain what was going through Superman's head. But anyways, Flash, remember that he's not a fighter. He's just used to pushing people. There was a part where Superman pretty much had everyone ganged up on him, but he kept them pushed. And then Flash was running at his super speed, and he thought that he could outrun Superman. Like, he was thinking about going around him to get behind him and I guess push him. But it turns out that Superman does this crazy thing to where, like, he just looks at Flash and locks him on. And Flash is like, oh no, like, oh God, I never thought that this would happen to me. I'm used to being the fastest being. I'm used to no one being able to keep track of me, no one being able to see me. But, Superman is just dead staring at him. I thought that was fantastic because I would have felt the same way as Flash, like, oh no, like, no, how are you looking at me? But that just shows you how much business Superman means and his powers. So he was also headbutting Wonder Woman because she was trying to do that to him as well. And this happened for two occasions, and then finally Superman had the last laugh because he pretty much picked her from the ground and then headbutted her, and she completely like crashed into the sidewalk. And to me, that was, I don't want to say it was brutal, but it was just incredible. Like, I loved every single aspect of that scene. Like, it it wasn't even the main fight, but it just worked so amazingly. And then if you're wondering how that ended. The way that ended was pretty much Lois Lane, of course, shows up, and suddenly Superman is like, oh, redhead. And this woman, like, oh my gosh, why am I being so mean? There's no way that I can behave this crazy when the lady is present. So, pretty much, hormones make you come back to your senses. And that's totally what happened to Superman. You know, sees Lois Lane, he has his little emotional moment, and then pretty much gets beside her, grabs her, and whoop, he just shoots like a rocket, and they leave the area. And because of this little showdown, this main antagonist, what is his name? My goodness. Anyways, he ends up getting that one block that the Justice League was trying to keep him from getting. But of course, that's going to be the climax of the movie, so we know that he's going to get his hands on this thing. So it would be silly to not have that happen. And hey, Aaron, I'm not ignoring you. I was just, yeah, just spoiling away as you stated. Good to see you. So yeah, that's pretty much all that I have to say when it comes to the characters. I think that everyone was pretty well represented, good backstory. You are my lowest fan, but that is not about me. Let me go back to being mean. That's really sweet of you. Yeah, really kind of you. So thanks a lot. And when it comes to the overall quality of the movie, I want to say that this deserves a better percentage than the 37% that it's getting on Rotten Tomatoes. Because I felt like the movie was entertaining, good character build up, good action, definitely great action. When it comes to the special effects, I felt like they were all used very well, you know? Steppenwolf. Yeah, Steppenwolf. I keep wanting to say Stephen Wolf or Seven Wolf, but I know that's not right. So yeah, thanks a lot for mentioning that. You just have to see it for yourself, and you'll either love it or you won't love it. But for me personally, I don't see why this movie is not at least fun to watch. Like, there's definitely good action. It's nothing like Batman versus Superman, where you thought that you were going to have some great action coming up, but it left much more to be desired. So, so yeah, it's a shame that it's not doing as well at the box office as they were anticipating, but I want to also think that it's the weekend before Thanksgiving, so maybe that has something to do. Because, I mean, today I went to a showing at 4:40 p.m., and that theater was packed. So to hear that it's not really doing that well, it's kind of strange for me. So, but anyways, you guys, I think I'm gonna conclude the discussion right there. I really don't have anything else to add. I feel like I said everything that I wanted to say. Went over the characters, went over the overall quality of the movie. Yeah, so I really think that is it. And there are two secret scenes, as in extras that aren't really part of the movie, like they happen during the credits. One of them was, I understand that it got taken out of the comics, and it's Superman racing Flash, which during the movie there was the scene where Superman has like his super hearing, and he realizes that there are civilians in the area, and he's telling the Flash, you help some people on one side, I help some people on another side. And then Superman is like completely like flying with this building, and he's taking it away, and then the Flash is pushing the overheated vehicle of one of the civilians who were like stuck in their house. My hair is my superpower. Thanks, Aaron. I completely feel like Medusa now. Imagine that my hair has snakes in it. My kryptonite. I can believe that because you leave me so many amazing comments about my hair that it's like you totally inspired that video where, where I put your comment in the beginning and I said I totally have to give credit to where this whole little 30-second montage came from because I don't think that would have happened without your idea. So, so thanks a lot. I had fun filming that because I was doing that completely on the fly. I was getting ready for work, and I had like 5 minutes to go. So I said, let me just have fun, do something different. I have never filmed anything at 6 a.m. So there's always a first time for everything. But anyways, and speaking of Superman powers, another cool thing that they did was they used a little more of his heat vision. Like he was cyclopsing his way through Stephen Wolf battle. And then he also used his ice breath, like his frosty breath. And he froze up like the sword or whatever that he was using, and then Wonder Woman was able to just whack it and completely shattered. And then that shattered not only his weapon but like his soul and everything, because he was like, oh my god, I cannot believe that this is happening to me. And then this is a character that is kind of like Pennywise. He gets powerful from you being afraid of him, but since nobody in the team was afraid of him, he was like losing his power. So that was a pretty interesting concept. I wouldn't have figured it. And let me see what you guys are saying. First thing I noticed when I logged in, I love it. Power, trying to drown in your hair, and Aquaman can save me. That made me feel so special. You're great. You're beautiful to me, but let me stop. So, oh, you guys are amazing. I don't think I could have asked for a better audience and better people to comment than you guys, because that's definitely among the nicest things that I get. So yeah, thanks a lot. I feel like you guys tell me that stuff when I need to hear it the most. It's not like I was having a bad day or anything, but I wasn't feeling incredibly great toward the end of today for some reason. To the point that when I got home, I felt kind of lightheaded and I had to like sit down on the floor. And um, it's one of those episodes where I just randomly pass out and I really cannot explain why, but it's probably a lack of sugar because I only had something sweet in the morning, and I tend to be sensitive about how much sugar I have in a day. I'm not diabetic or anything, but it happens to me. If I go many, many, many hours without anything sweet, I just get sluggish. Maybe because I'm more of an active person than I'm not, so that might have something to do, but I don't know. I ain't worried about it. I enjoy your videos. Your voice is so soothing to me. Thanks a lot. You're definitely not the first person to tell me that. And it's strange because I feel like when I was younger, I had like this raspy voice to where if I were to have had my license and go through a drive-through, they would have said, "Thank you, sir." but but then over the years, I guess it just sort of like softened, and yeah, and I'm glad because I got to be happy with how I sound. You look comfy in your attire. You never know. You could be hypoglycemic and have a sugar. Yeah, it is possible. I know that there is sugar related stuff going on in the family and anemia as well. So I don't know how that affects blood sugar, but maybe. And yes, I am pretty comfortable. Like, this is a pretty good jacket. It's kind of like fluffy. You might want to snack, and sometimes it can be low iron or protein level. It's definitely not low protein because I have a smoothie with like the double serving of protein. So usually I get around 30 grams, 40 grams from that. And then I also had fish, like salmon, and I also had a burger. So it's strange. This is my fourth time that this happens to me. Like, my first time that I had a pass out episode was I was with my father, and this is a rare occasion, but I was with my dad, and he was cooking chicken. He was trying to teach me how to season it and how to cook it. And then all of a sudden, I'm listening to him and I'm standing, next to him, and I'm like, I feel dizzy. Next thing I know is I wake up and I'm on the floor and he's shoving sugar like down my throat and like trying to blow air at me. And I'm like, what happened to me? And he was like, the last thing you said was, I feel dizzy. And then you started leaning forward and you hit your head and then you fell on the ground. And I looked at myself in a mirror, like after I was able to get up, and I saw the line of how I hit myself with the edge of the wall. And I'm like, I don't know how that happened. I just remember my ears sort of hearing sound from a distance, and then my upper back became cold. And it's like externally, I was warm, but internally, it's like my blood had ice in it. Like, I felt cold internally, but outside, I was actually sweating. And then on another occasion, it happened once again when my dad was trying to show me how to cook chicken, and I had the same symptom, felt lightheaded and fell to the floor. But it wasn't as bad. I pretty much remained conscious throughout that one. I just felt weak and collapsed. And for those two incidents, the conclusion is that I hadn't eaten well, which is true. I remember that for my first passing out episode, I only had cereal without milk and some pecans that I had left over from when I flew over there to see him. And I remember that I was feeling hungry. But anyways, for my third time, I was here at home downstairs, and I know that I was under a lot of stress. And fortunately, my boyfriend was there, and I remember telling him, I'm gonna go sit down for a second. And then I told him that, and I started walking to the kitchen to get some sugar because I was sort of identifying the symptoms. But then I just had to sit on the floor and just lean back. And I told him, look, I'm feeling this type of way. It feels like what happened to me when I was with my dad. So can you get me like some sugar? He always does that. He grabs a spoon and just gives me sugar. And then my boyfriend did that, and I was on the ground for like another 10 minutes. And then after that, I got up and sat on a chair, and I was there for like an hour because I was so afraid of moving. And then tonight it happened again. I had the symptoms. I was standing up and I had the symptoms, and then I was like, honey, I'm getting dizzy. So I sat down on the ground, and I was identifying the symptom again because I had like that weird chill to where I feel cold in the inside, but I have a good coat. So I'm not cold externally. And then I asked him to give me some jelly that I had in the refrigerator and grab me a spoon. And, he got it for me. And I felt better a little quicker, probably because I had something in my stomach. Like, we just came back from having dinner. But it was strange because now I don't know exactly what makes that happen. So, but anyways, I ain't worried about it. Let me see what you guys are saying. Okay. You know what? Um, DH, you might be right. You just reminded me that it's been about 2 weeks since I had my iron supplement, and I've been having these weird pains in my abdomen, which means that the girly days are coming. So I think it's too late for me to have iron right now, and iron sits really heavy in your stomach. So I will make it my priority to take my supplement tomorrow. So thanks for mentioning that, because now I randomly remembered that I haven't been taking my supplement as often as I should, given my days. The normal ranges are 6 to 8 range day. I think you should get your protein, iron, vitamin D tested. Oh, that too. Vitamin D. I normally do a supplement once every 3 days. No, once every 5 days, because I got the one that is 10,000 as opposed to 1,000. What do you call that? ICU? Anyway, and yes, ever since I started taking vitamin D, I feel so much better. But you're right, I haven't had vitamin D in a long time. And let me see, what else did you say? Okay. Your body only processes so much protein per hour. I eat pretty high protein meals every day. I get my protein tested twice a week. I'm normally about 6.4 to 6.8. Well, I would love to have that stuff tested more often, but me and doctors is kind of a hassle. The normal range is 6 to 8. I think you should get your protein. Wait, I think I read that. Oh yeah, you should keep snacks with you, granola bars. As a matter of fact, I do, and I ran out yesterday. So yeah, no cooking chicken for you anymore. And you know what, Aaron? Today my mom cooked some chicken, like she didn't season it or anything, which was weird for me. I'm like, why would she do that? But I remember that she's been feeding our cat with real meat, like she cooked a little bit of ground beef for him and chicken. So I'm assuming that this chicken was part of his meal, which I don't know what the deal is with that, but I mean, it's her cat. I say it's her cat because I ignore him. Like, the only reason that cat is alive is because she takes care of him, because he is so antisocial that it just tries my patience. But something about chicken makes me feel some kind of way. I have never cooked chicken in my life. The only chicken that I have made for myself is pre-cooked. And it's because since I had those incidents with my father when he was cooking it, I'm like, what if something about the smell of it may trigger something in me? But then if I have had these episodes of passing out and no chicken was involved, then it can't be chicken. But the burger that I had was actually a chicken sandwich. So maybe I already had that little preconceived feeling of having dealt with that awful smell of unseasoned chicken in the house. So maybe you're right. Maybe I should quit chicken. Oh, and make sure you have some salt. I donate blood and plasma on the regular. The issue working out all the time is keeping that protein levels up. I mostly eat fish, the body breaks down. That's true. When I first started working out, I had problems keeping my nutrients up adequately because I was used to not eating a lot. Like, I'm not saying that I would starve myself, but it's more of I would eat a little bit of everything, but divide it up into hours. Like, say, regularly I wake up at 7 a.m., so that's when I have my breakfast. My breakfast used to consist of oatmeal and maybe a banana. And then 3 hours later, I would have another snack, like a yogurt, and then eggs, and a slice of bread. Then maybe 4 hours later, I would have some fruit, and then toward the evening, I would have salad, and then my actual dinner is what had the heavier stuff like a meat, a fish. But then this was before I started working. Then when I started working, I had to train myself to go many hours without eating anything. Um, so before work, I always make sure that I eat. And then during my break, I try to have a pretty solid lunch. But unfortunately, normally I go between 4 and 5 hours without eating anything when I'm at work. And I always knew that that was going to mess me up. But that's out of my control because I don't make the schedule or let alone control the break time. So, but at least I'm smart about it. It's like I have figured out what I need to eat to maintain myself fortified. But whenever it happens to me, it's still scary, because I'm like, oh God, where did I fail? But you're right. I think that I just need to bring some of my certain vitamins up. So, and another thing is that when it comes to taking supplements, there's a trick to it. Like, you're not supposed to mix calcium with iron because they sort of cancel each other out. So sometimes when I have the intention of taking my supplement, I'm like, oh, wait, I shouldn't do that because I just had a glass of milk. So I shouldn't have iron or, stuff like that. So, in a sense, I shoot myself down from taking my supplements. But at least I have created a pretty good solid routine. And then today, my day was kind of strange because I was on the go early in the morning. And although I had a pretty solid breakfast, I guess toward the evening, I went many, many, many hours without eating. So then it just caught up to me. And although I had the burger and my passing out incident happened after the burger, there wasn't really much sugar into what I ate. So maybe it caught up with me. Because as soon as I had that little spoonful of jelly, I was fine. So, yeah. Let me see what else you have said. Okay. Okay. It sounds like insulin levels. I would keep snacks with you just in case, and you might need to drink. Ah, thanks for saying that because you just reminded me that I have been doing terrible about drinking water. So that's why I have it here next to me. I was telling my boyfriend, dude, I haven't even had a full cup of water today. And it's just that during the cold season, I do so terrible about drinking water. And I know this is when I should drink the most water because it's so dry and, breathing takes water. I work out, so I tend to sweat. So that makes me lose water. And I just need to do better about it. And when I got sick, I definitely was not keeping my fluid levels as high as they could be. So I guess now that I'm recovered, I need to make up for everything that I lost, and clearly I haven't. And right now, the thirst is there, but water feels like poison. But I promise I'll do better about it. The fact that we're having this discussion is going to keep it really on the top of my head now. So yeah. Let me see. What else did you say? It sounds like insulin. I just read that. It's never late. Take anyways. I am vitamin D deficient because I am dark skinned. I had to have the doctor prescribe me 50,000. Oh gosh, yes, I have seen those bottles. I'm like, who on earth would need that much? But then again, the measurement is kind of different because I'm used to seeing milligrams and stuff, and this is units. So this is crazy. What most people don't know is that, yes, yes, I am pretty aware of that. Taking magnesium with vitamin D. See, the magnesium that I take is actually CalMag. So it's calcium magnesium, which I absolutely need after exercising. And I like to reinforce that with chocolate milk. Something about it makes me feel great. I used to be a health nut. See, I used to be so too until I started working. Because now I don't. Since work takes so much of my time, I don't want to lose a whole lot more time just on food and everything. So I'm just not thinking about it. I'm just thinking about, okay, did I eat? Great. What did I eat? Have I had any meat? No? Let me eat some meat or some fish. Have I had milk? No? Okay, let me drink some milk. So I just need to come up with a better plan and stop making excuses. Which it usually works, but like I said, when I'm out of work, my brain is like so fried, so I'm just not thinking about it until the consequences come about, which is me passing out. I have this feral cat that I feed because she had kittens again. It could be your mind and also the smell. I normally a pescatarian, but I have started eating turkey again within the last 2 weeks. Oh, so that means you must be pretty happy about Thursday. I'm about to stop again. I prefer fiction. The bird doesn't taste the same. Many people say that turkey is bland. Like, my mom swears her life on it. And I'm like, turkey for me is the best tasting bird there is. I'm just saying. Just work on mineral versus supplements. Eat, eat, eat as much as you can. You're right. I've been doing so much better about overindulging, but with vegetables. So I'm trying to do things like celery, carrots, spinach to vary it up and not get bored. And I feel great. But the thing about it is, I like to buy that stuff when it's fresh. So I gotta challenge myself to eat all of that fast so that it doesn't go bad on me. You gotta drink water. I chug all day long. It's great for your body overall. Aaron, this is for you. I'm gonna do a Donald Trump impression. That was terrible. Anyways, okay. My goal is to drink the rest of this bottle. So let me see if I can do it. Live and in color. This is so challenging for me. Like, this feels just like I'm actually working. Ugh. And if you wonder why I'm not pressing my lips against it, it's because I don't have lip balm within reach and I'm too lazy to get up. So I'm like, this is like wide to where my lips can kind of fit in it. So that's my moisturizer. So, see, I'm really trying, but I don't know why. Like, I feel better that I'm drinking this because, like, let me tell you, the dryness is real. But, but this, ugh. Okay, I'm gonna keep going. You guys are just like my personal doctors. The other day, I was telling someone to send me a tweet because by the time that they wake up, they they they're like 5 hours ahead of me. So I said sometimes my alarm goes off and I don't get up immediately. So tweet me or text me or something and tell me to get the heck up. Period. So so they did. I want to give up on this water already, but I'm not going to. You know what I should do? I should just replay this section of the live stream and be like, oh yeah, remember that time when I didn't want to drink water? Yeah, well, yeah. Okay. I might catch up with some of your comments. um, a cup, damn, yo. I drink a gallon of water and a day and 3 glasses of Gatorade, which is the minimum. Instead of doing Gatorade, I like to do coconut water. Um, yeah, normally I'm not this bad about water, I promise. It's just that I have my seasons when I just don't. And I know that drinking water is something that you should normally do. But fortunately, I don't replace water with other crap. Like, I don't drink soda, I don't drink sugary juices that are more sugar than actual juice from the fruit. Um, but I guess I may be so invested into whatever it is that I'm doing at the time that something as simple as drinking water, I just forget. But the good thing is that everywhere I go, I take this cup with me and I refill it as I go. I take a gallon with me on my car since it's the colder season. Um, I don't have to worry about it getting hot or anything. Um, Vitamin D is all soluble. It's actually a hormone. I need to balance my hormones actually. All I drink is water, lemon water, and green tea. I like lemon water. I also like to do apple cider. Um, I agree, drinking water is a job within itself. Hey, what you just did is sexy. Bug on my bug screen TV. I actually knew this family that owned the business. If I was dietitians, they thought I had a degree. Many people think that because of my body shape that I'm into like fitness training or something, and I'm like, all I do is live in moderation and not have a cake diet, which is very carby. Like, I used to eat so much bread and pasta and things like that when I was a kid that I don't even know how I even have any muscle mass to me because I used to not eat that much meat, honestly. Um, I never ate ground beef on like ground beef and pasta. I never ate stuff like lasagna. Ugh, I thought that was terrible. All the meat that I would get was pretty much chicken. And if I had ground beef, it was in tacos or a burrito. But normally I would opt for chicken ones anyway. So, like I said, I don't know how I still had muscle to me, but but I survived that. Um, I can't wait for my turnip greens to grow. You know, I have never eaten turnip. How is that? Is that sweet, salty, anything that we can compare it to? I'm also I also need to try artichokes because they have this procedure that you have to do to them, something about cooking them for like 40 minutes and I'm like, yeah, that's too much work. Any infused water is good. Try cucumber or pineapple water too. I love pineapples. I haven't had pineapple water, but yeah, that's a good idea. You know what's even better than coconut water and Gatorade? Pedialyte. Can't say I've ever heard of that. I drink so much water, but potassium and sodium is what I flush out all day because I consume so much water. Now that you mentioned sodium, it is possible that my levels are low when it comes to that because when I cook, I don't add any salt. And not that I think about it, I didn't have anything salty except for any salt that my french fries or my burger could have had. Hey, um, I've never known how to say your name, honey. Altier? Altair? I'm gonna call you Mr. Bees, alright? And no, my dearest, this is not my first live stream. My first live stream was like 2 weeks ago, and it was entitled ramblings of a first time streamer. And then today, earlier, I did a stream while I was on the go because I was still at the laundry. I clearly did a terrible job at calculating 12 o'clock. Um, and then I did another stream when I parked at home to actually give the stream some content because when I started streaming, I had the stress of I am failing you guys by being here at like 12:15 instead of 12, and I'm still carrying my laundry and I needed to pick it up from the dryer and everything. So this time I decided to do a live stream of my movie review because I knew that it was going to be a long one and I didn't want to have the pressure of editing it, keeping it short, and I didn't want to just semi share my thoughts. So I said, F it, I'm going to start streaming. And then little by little, you guys just started showing up. So the movie topic ended at around 35 minutes. And right now, we're just rambling and talking about how bad I've been doing about drinking water. So the goal is to get me to drink the rest of this, which clearly I am ignoring because clearly a sister just struggles. So let me see what else you guys said. I do apple cider twice a day. I do it about twice a week as I need because like when I got sick, that stuff is awesome for when you have like that feeling of having swallowed rusty knives in your throat. So it like clears me up instantly. Just made me a pasta dish with tuna. You said that T word. Oh God, I cannot stand the stench of tuna. That's all I gotta say. Turnip greens are kind of bitter. I feel like I heard that. And maybe that's why I've stayed away from them. Because bitterness, like 95% chocolate, I'm done. Don't mind it. I need to change my username. Honestly, there's nothing wrong with your username. It's just that I'm a terrible reader. That's all. I made a Tuscan garlic pasta dish. I love garlic. Sauteed fresh garlic, white onion, Roma tomatoes. I don't like Roma tomatoes, but when they're mixed in with like pasta, they are aight. Mushrooms, cucumber, and some peppers. Kind of basic, nothing great, but I was hungry. Well, that is definitely better than what I do. All I do to my pasta is sprinkle rosemary on it, Parmesan cheese, and creamy vodka sauce. Because your girl doesn't drink, but I like to have the illusion that I'm messing with alcohol via cooking with vodka sauce. I don't know what it's like to be hungover and speak, but that's totally the best. That's totally the best impression you're getting out of me. Let me see. I saw that live stream pop up on my notifications. Wasn't able to see it, unfortunately. It's all good, honey. I'm going to make a habit of streaming more. I just need to get my life together, cause sometimes I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna tell the guys that I'm going to have a stream in a couple of days, but then I look at my work schedule and it ruins it for me. So, but anyways, I will be announcing which day of this week is most optimal for me to do a live stream, and hopefully nail a better time with you guys because I feel like a Sunday at noon is definitely not the most optimal time, but that's all the time a sister had. So, anyways, Mr. Bees is fine. All right, Mr. Bees, it is. By the way, who is that character in your Avi? I've been meaning to find out or ask you. I feel like I commented that, but that was so long ago. Aaron says to chug, 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 chug. I guess I have to. Oh God. And the worst part about me drinking water is whenever it goes through the wrong pipe. Like, if I start coughing, that's what happened. I just need to slow down, not think about it, stop breathing through my nose, and not try to drink and breathe at the same time. I have that terrible habit. It's been happening to me since I was a child, so I'm just terrible. Okay, that's enough. Well, it's not enough, but I just want to catch up with what you guys are saying. Get out of here. I love tuna. Well, your girl doesn't like tuna. Like, I guess my cat and I have something in common, and it's we don't like tuna like that. So, anyways, other people have had a problem pronouncing it. I think I may have spelled the name wrong. Tuna is good. Tuna and great in the same sentence. And it depends if you pick turnip greens early, they are not bigger, but if you grow them longer, they will be better. Another thing that looks like a turnip, but it's kind of like dirty and golden and brownish, is rutabaga or rutabaga. Have you ever had that? Let me know if you have. It looks weird. The one thing that looks completely weird that I've had, and it's pretty good but bitter, is celery root. So yeah, let me know if you mess with that. Uh, I am a southerner, so I kind of like better. Yes, creamy vodka sauce is delicious. You are silly. Get silly. Are you familiar with the game Assassin's Creed? I have heard of Assassin's Creed. I know that there's like the character that's like with the hoodie and junk, like looking all, "Oh, I'm an assassin." But I have never actually watched anything with them or played anything with them. So, all right, that's cool now. Because I think part of the thing that I said in my maybe it's a phantom comment, I was saying that it reminds me of the transformation of Virgil in Devil May Cry 3. Like when he has his devil trigger. Yeah, that's what it reminds me of. It's a character from this manga called Atasuki. Okay, I dig it, dude. Oh, and the issue with apple cider vinegar is it strips potassium. Well, that's counterproductive. No, I have not had that type of veggie. Gorgeous hoodie up. Cool. Yeah, I see rutabagas on occasion, really. I felt tempted to pick it up, but I always tell myself, what am I going to do with this massive ball of root? Like, I thought that celery root was going to be so difficult to, like, cut, but no, it turns out to be sliceable, like an apple. So, and if you hear any weird noises, that's my mom going to the bathroom. She always goes to the restroom, like, close to midnight. Let me see. Did I miss anything or anybody? Yeah, creamy vodka sauce. You didn't know that your girl messes with vodka, did you? But yeah, guys, that pretty much sums up my thoughts when it comes to the comments that you guys have sent me. A bummer about comments is that I was speaking to other people who stream, and they tell me that the comments do get lost once they're posted. So that's why I'm trying to read everything as you guys go and read the entire thing just in case I revisit this stream. And yeah, that's the only way that I can retrieve these comments. I would expect that they get transferred to the comment section, but when I scroll through the comments that you guys are showing me, only I see that. And then once the video processes, it gets lost. So, did you watch the Ant-Man movie? Did I watch the Ant-Man movie? Yes, I did. And the macro photography was incredible. Like, my favorite part about it was that since he was downsizing so much, like there was this scene where he would like ride with ants or something, and the level of detail that it had was incredible. And then don't even get me started on the like water raindrops being like massive. So yeah, that movie was great, but I want to say that the movie that surpassed it was Doctor Strange, because I feel like they came out at around the same time, and I had said, yeah, Ant-Man is my favorite movie, or better yet, favorite superhero movie that I've seen in a long time, if ever. But then Doctor Strange came out and he did his magic. So then I said, you know what, Ant Man, yeah, I already forgot about you. But yeah, Ant Man was pretty amazing. It was a fun movie to watch. Yeah, isn't he? And then he had a brief part in Thor Ragnarok, and all I wanted was for him and Loki to completely have a showdown. Like, can you imagine that? They're both tricksters. So it would be amazing to have a Doctor Strange versus a Loki. Marvel, make this happen. And then we also have Infinity War coming out, and the thing that I keep thinking the most about Infinity War is Vision. Poor fellow is going to get his little stone ripped from his head somehow, and that's gonna be brutal, and I'm looking forward to it, and I just can't wait. Wow, there's four of you here. Thank you guys so much. I was just rambling by myself when I started filming this, and then all of a sudden, you guys have joined in. So, yeah, there is no way that this would have run into 77 minutes without you. I didn't want Doctor Strange, and I plan on downloading all of the superhero movies. I have my own server, so if you want movies, keep me in mind. Absolutely, I shall keep you in mind. Um, let's see. The movies that I have not seen are Iron Man. And I hear that people have issues with the second Iron Man movie for some reason. Maybe I'm remembering it wrong. But I also watched The Avengers. The Avengers 1, I vaguely remember, and the second Avengers, Age of Ultron, I vaguely remember too. Yeah, oh my god, there's five of you. Hi, fifth person. Um, yeah, the thing about the Avengers is that I had never really seen all of those superheroes together. Like, I never knew of Thor until I saw Age of Ultron. So, the thing of me and superheroes is that my knowledge about them is kind of scattered because when I was a kid, I only had access for to so much. Like, let's see. I remember watching X-Men 2 United, but prior to that, I had not seen the first X-Men movie. And then I had the misfortune of seeing The Last Stand because my cousin provided it for me. And I'm like, wait, what is this terrible X-Men movie? I don't want to call it terrible because the X-Men are my favorite folks. So I felt bad that I was going through that. I'm like, I don't want to say that I hate this movie, but I gotta be honest, I don't like this at all. And then I saw online that many people had issues with that movie. Everybody had issues with that movie. So I said, oh, okay, so it's not me. And then there was, what else did I see? Honestly, I never watched any superhero movies besides the X-Men and the separate Wolverine movies. If I'm more up to date with superhero movies nowadays, it's all thanks to my boyfriend. Like, he has read the comics, he has seen all of the movies, so he started explaining stuff to me, and then I was like, bruh, I just don't know what you're talking about. So then he suggested that I watch the Thor movies. He said they were great, and I watched them and I agreed. So, of course, now I'm decently caught up, but I still have this issue of not remembering names of characters. And then tonight I asked him, we keep talking about Superman, and Superman is a DC character. So, who is the Superman of the Marvel Universe? And he mentioned three names or four. One of them was a gladiator, and he said that he has a mohawk and is purple. I don't know who he's talking about. I've never heard of him. I've never seen him. Maybe I have, but I just don't have the memory of him right now. So, yeah, let me see what you guys are saying. The hair twirling is distracting. Well, yes, I just completely do not notice when I do that, so we're just gonna have to roll with it. I am a techie. I shouldn't have 16 computers at home, just saying. Well, the next time one of my computers just gives away, I will totally consult you because mom and I went like 2 years without a computer. And fortunately, we got our phones and we have unlimited everything. So we really don't have to worry about internet access like that. But sometimes there is stuff that you need a computer for the optimal experience. So, anyway. X2 was high water mark for me for the X-Men franchise. I agreed twirling her hair is boss though. I'm trying to keep it PG. She is beautiful, but again, you being natural is awesome. The movie's hardly touch on everything. This is why I like Batman so much. The backstory is crazy. I don't know if you'll recognize this. I don't even know how canon this is or if this is just some separate thing. But I have a memory of having read something about Bruce Wayne's skeleton being found some years later. And it's like a really dark comic or something. But I read this about 2 years ago. So I don't know how he was found or what. But I know that there is a story with him like that. I know that doesn't help, but I feel like there's a comic out there. You should. I work for myself, so I fix and build computers or laptop. This is my life, IT. Yeah. Dang, I wish I would have known you like back in May because I had I have an iPhone 6 Plus and it had the bend gate situation, so I shipped it to Florida and they fixed it for me, but I was like, please don't tell me I have to buy a new phone. Um I know what you're talking about. Ooh, excellent. Well, I'm like, this would be such an excellent movie. I would hope that they make a movie like that because I'm not ready to see Batman dead like that. But but yeah, it would be so cool too. And then all of you Batman lovers are just going to experience that feeling of it being a sad day for you to be alive, but you'll get over it. I have done stuff with the army. Let's put it this way, I had secret government clearances and I programmed satellites and other types of stuff relating to this one. That's really awesome. When I was a few years younger, um, I used to know a little bit of computers, but I never really could further anything. I was learning how to do HTML, but I gave up. Like, I just I didn't have a website to make it practical anymore. Like back in the day when I would use MySpace, if you wanted to decorate your profile, you could find layouts and like paste an HTML code to the modules or something. But then after the MySpace days were over, I stopped practicing. So anything that I learned, I forgot. And something that I remembered was how to make videos autoplay. Like you would insert the code and autoplay equals 1 or something somewhere, and it would make videos start playing automatically. And it was awesome because sometimes the MySpace playlist didn't have the song that I was looking for. So I would do that to one of the modules and the video would start playing. And there was also a way for you to like alter the measurement so that the video would go invisible, but it would still play on the background. So, yep. Um, Nightwing story. Yeah, that sounds familiar. In school, you know, Robin when he did his. Yeah, 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 yeah. HTML is not hard. I can explain it and help you later. I remember the MySpace days. I was the guy that had the 5,000 plus friends and had a robot do all my work. Was speaking of dark side, I don't know why. Maybe it was a picture posted by Henry Cavill, but I was thinking that I would see Superman in his dark suit, but I also thought that this was going to happen during that scene when he was beating the crap out of everyone else in the Justice League. Because I'm like, okay, the black suit is coming. The black suit is coming. But then he kept wearing the same suit, except that he finally learned to not wear his underwear on the outside. but but yeah, I'm not sure what the meaning of that dark suit is supposed to be, but all I'm saying is I was anticipating it and it is not in this movie. I don't think I finished talking about the extra scene, but the last scene is Lex Luthor is out from prison and they show Slade Wilson, otherwise known as Deathstroke. Is that his name? So, yeah, I love how his costume is looking. Like, he's like half tan, half orange or something, and then half black. I only remember him from the Teen Titan days. And I remember that like one half of his face without that mask looks pretty effed up. So, yeah. Have you watched Smallville? My cousin back in 2007 told me about it so much. He said, this Smallville stuff is really fun. But I never watched anything from beginning to end. I saw clips of it, but never watched it. So now that you mention it, I'll write it down so that I get to it eventually. And if you don't hear me mentioning it in like a month in a video or something, shoot me a comment, and I'll be sure to remember because sometimes I don't catch up with something because I genuinely forget. Deadpool or Deathstroke, I'm gonna see it Saturday. I love Deadpool. The Deadpool movie was so fun. Like, it was so fun that even the credits were fun. Like one of the credits said something about ass hats and and many other interesting terms to describe the producers. So it's like it's creating a parody out of something that we already know that is true, which is the corporate stuff, but they actually have a crack at it on the credits. That's hilarious. They need to make a Surfer movie. Just saying that backstory though. Is it bad that I don't know who Silver Surfer is or what Silver Surfer is? Be gentle with me. Let's see. Okay, I'm pretty caught up with everything. Aaron is like, what? Okay, I'm feeling severely dry again. So while you tell me who the Silver Surfer is, I'm gonna take care of this. What? I'm trying to imagine how you would say that. What? I feel like this water is going everywhere except down my throat. Yeah. The Silver Surfer is a humanoid with metallic skin who can travel space with the aid of the surfboard like Croft. Only one of the most powerful characters in all of comics. Is this a DC character, a Marvel character, or neither? Is there such thing besides DC and Marvel? If there is, then it's definitely not mainstream enough for me to know. Marvel. Okay. I feel like the Marvel universe is significantly bigger than DC, but then again, I don't know DC well enough to assert that, so don't kill me. Um, but like today, I was looking at that little logo that comes up before the movie starts. Um, yeah, compared to all the junk that they show on Marvel, I feel like DC is pretty limited. Um, Speaking of heroes, I just wonder if we are ever going to get a good Fantastic Four movie, because let me tell you that junk that came out in like 2015, 2014. Why does that even exist? Like Doctor Doom, was that his name? He didn't look nor feel nor sound right, and I just felt like that movie was just complete wackery. So we're never going to get a great Fantastic Four movie. They're owned by Fox, right? Or, anyways, I believe that the issue is whoever owns them, whoever has the right to them. So I think it would be hard for them to make it. I feel like they had a cartoonish version of the Fantastic Four, but I might be wrong. It's right too. So, what makes it so difficult to get the Fantastic Four right? They did have a cartoon, multiple ones. See, it's crazy. When we're discussing this stuff and rambling, it's like I start getting other memories and I just start talking before I connect my tongue to my brain. So that's why I say a lot of nonsense. I think the actors will probably overdo their parts. Yeah, I felt like Doctor Doom, I think his real name is Victor. Yeah, he was unbearable for me. The Fantastic Four definitely needs a good backstory for it to be appreciated, kind of like the Wolverine movies. Speaking of the Wolverine movies, which I did mention, but just vaguely, how did you guys feel about all of them? Um, I had issues with the one where, what was it? Where he lost his claws and he had, yeah, like his metallic claws were like melted or something, or ripped from him, or cut off. Something happened to them. That's the Wolverine movie I had issues with. I don't even know why I have issues with it. It's just that I didn't enjoy it as much as everything else. So, yeah. But Logan, though, it was incredible. And all I have to say is I hope that the next Wolverine is good because I got so used to Hugh Jackman that I think of Wolverine and I automatically think Hugh Jackman, which is kind of wrong because Wolverine has been around since way before Hugh Jackman. But I'm just saying that in the cinematic universe, Hugh Jackman was the man. So I'm just hoping that the next Wolverine is memorable at the very least. Because I definitely can say that one of my favorite things about watching an X-Men movie was the way Hugh Jackman would deliver his performance. All I have to say is they should have that more backstory in Wolverine because it's crazy. They didn't do him no justice. See, the thing about Wolverine is that he is actually pretty old, and I feel like he's not being explored in depth. Like he's from a completely different century, isn't he? So we only know him from his modern days. I feel like we need to see more of how he was just with his healing factor, like before he got his adamantium stuff going on. And then we need to see like the complete ins and outs of when Stryker did the experiments on him, and then so on and so forth. Um, Magneto ripped Wolverine's adamantium in the comics. Yes, a lot of people say that that's one of their favorite storylines. I would read it. I have never read any of the comics. Um, but see, the thing about me and comics is that I got so spoiled with watching pictures that move and have sound like movies. So to read about that, even though the comics are the root story, it's kind of a very difficult transition for me to make. So the only way I'll probably read a comic is if I have it very obviously shoved in my face. But me voluntarily waking up one morning and be like, I'm gonna pick up an MF comic and just read it, it's probably not gonna happen. I just wanna be real with you. You have to think Wolverine lived a very long time. When I watched X-Men, Wolverine was definitely one of my favorite characters. I think so. He needs. Oh my god, I'm at 20% battery power. Anyways, I think he needs his own series, like Lord of the Rings. Logan was brutal and I liked it a lot. Oh my god, some of my favorite things about the Logan movie were when Professor X would have his seizures and then the camera would do like crazy things. Like it sounded and felt legitimately like his headache. It's like his headache, his seizure was my seizure. And if you're wondering what I'm doing is I'm trying to find my little cable before I lose power and just completely embarrass myself yet again. So, yeah. Yeah. This sounds good. See, the good thing is that the USB cable that I use now is like kilometric compared to the selfishness that Apple has when it comes to freaking cables. Okay. I did not hear the sound of this charging, so now I'm paranoid. But anyways. Yes, you're right. It is water time because I'm feeling pretty dry right now. Oh, and something that I didn't tell you guys is that I actually have half a gallon right there on the floor. So I do that because since my room is on the second level, there is no way that I would go back downstairs to get water. I would rather die of thirst before I go through the trouble of going downstairs for water. But yeah, okay, back to Logan being brutal. If I'm spacing out, it's because I'm trying to remember if I did a review of this movie. I want to say that I did, but I probably didn't. But yes, the one part that really made me uncomfortable was when freaking X what is his twin X 20 what? Anyways, evil Wolverine. He completely stabbed Wolverine in like the freaking armpit. That was brutal. And then, of course, when um when Wolverine got lodged in that tree branch, that was just crazy. Um, Let me see. You know, I have never seen any Lord of the Rings, but I hear that it's good. Probably the only reason I didn't get into Lord of the Rings was because when the first movies were coming out, I felt like we were oversaturated with like their posters and everything, so it kind of turned me off. Um, the comics are better. I think it's water time, at least to say. Yeah, yeah. Review it now. Let's get into it. I will do my very best because it's been a year, so my memory may fail me a little bit. And I only saw the movie once. I can send you the Lord of the Rings via Google Drive. Sure, um, you can try that if you want to, because I've never done Google Drive, so I have no idea how that works. So I guess you can email me and yeah, let me know how that works and what I can anticipate. I still get goosebumps when I watch the opening of the first Lord of the Rings. If you feel compelled to discuss it, go ahead and do it. I'm not one of those people who cries and their life is over just because you said a spoiler. So if you feel compelled, go ahead. Google Drive works like a messaging system. You can either view the movie or download the movie. I would rather just view it. I don't think I really need to download it, but that's really cool. I've never done anything with Google Drive, so and Google Hangout. I only found out about that because one of the folks who watches me somehow sent me a message, and I'm like, oh, Hangout, that's new. So there is so much about Google and YouTube that I just don't know about, but little by little, as I get exposed to this stuff, I find out about it. So yeah, hook me up and let me know when you did that so that I can start looking for it. You guys are awesome. I have zero doubt in my mind that there is no way that I would have cared about drinking water if it weren't for you having said something. Like, I probably would have because it was getting uncomfortable, but like, I'm actually dedicated. And I guess the fact that I'm talking so much makes me need it more. So, anyways, I will let you know they need to make a movie about Wolverine's family. Wolverine has a family? See, I feel like I know about that. I feel like it was briefly mentioned in the Logan movie. Um, Either that or I read it somewhere. Like he had a wife or something. Um, Maybe not. But anyways, let's see. Another cool thing about the Logan movie was this guy called Caliban, like the albino guy. Um, I thought that was I felt so bad for him because can you imagine being extremely sensitive to sunlight to where that stuff just melts you and burns you? And then he was telling Logan, you think I cannot notice the fact that you are aging and you're not healing as rapidly as you used to, and you also are struggling to read what this bottle says, da 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 da. I'm like, wow, it's real. Logan is dying right in front of us. Yes, he does. As a matter of fact, Storm and Wolverine were together at some point. Oh, I can't say I knew that. Yeah, I never knew that. Storm is my girl. Storm sparked a romantic yet undefined relationship with Wolverine, and they run the Jean Grey School together. These two also have relationships that span into other alternate realities. You saying alternate realities got me like, because when you put fiction and inside of the fiction there is fiction, like my brain can only do so much. So I was supposed to be watching the Punisher series right now, but I'm not going anywhere. Huh? You find me better than the Punisher? That's amazing, because the Punisher is like popular and everybody likes it. Wait, what else is there besides the Punisher? Um, um, there was this other character. It's not Daredevil. I feel like he came out after Daredevil. I think it was a brother who was completely kicking butt. Um, what's his name? And I bet you that if one of you guys says it, I'm going to remember. Yes, Luke Cage. Yes, that was pretty brutal. And Daredevil was the one that had Kingpin in it, right? Oh my god, I watched a little bit of it, and there's this part where he's completely killing someone by like smashing a SUV door into this person's head. That is probably the most violent thing I had ever seen. And then Luke Cage, I saw a little bit of it, and then the one with the woman. What's her face again? She looks like the underworld lady, but she's completely depressed and dark. Once again, when you put it in the comments, I'm gonna remember. I'm just awkwardly waiting for one of you guys to tell me the name of the lady. I want to remember before you say it for me. Hello. I can't say that I recognize you, but welcome to the stream. Vincent D'Onofrio was amazing. I feel like I should know who that is, but I kind of don't. So be gentle with me. Um, but yeah, I saw the one with the lady in it, and I thought that the story of the lady was boring. I'm just saying. Um, what's her name again? I don't think you have told me what her name is. I give up trying to remember by this point. um, but yeah, I remember only seeing a trailer of The Punisher, so I really cannot say that I know much about his story. And I also don't have a Netflix, so it's not like I can just look the stuff up and sit through it. I could probably find some of it on YouTube, but I have like 80 things on my watch later that only keeps growing. So, see, this is one of those things that it can take up so much of your time, and I'm not used to being a person who watches seasons of anything. Like, the hype right now is this thing called Stranger Things, and I watched the first season of it, like maybe a couple of episodes, but it started to get boring for me. So, Netflix and YouTube is all I watch. Yeah, I used to watch a little bit of television back in the day, but by the time that I was through with middle school, I didn't watch much anymore. That's when I noticed just how broad YouTube is. So I started watching stuff like gameplays and parodies of stuff. Right now, the best thing in my life is the Dragon Ball Z Abridged series by Team Four Star, which they have put on hiatus. But anyways, it's just amazing because it's fans who know their stuff and they twist the story in a way that makes it way more entertaining and far superior to the original stuff. So I have infinite appreciation for anybody who uses like voice acting talent and editing talent and stuff and just turned something that to me was fantastic, which was, Dragon Ball Z as it was, but then makes it even funnier. So, Stranger Things is pretty good. I enjoyed the first season, just started the second. Sounds good. Another thing that was running on Netflix was 13 Reasons Why. And I have the book, which, matter of fact, I did a video on it. And I read the book back in 2012 because I had to for a school assignment. And I thought that it was great. And it's one of the few books in my life that I have read from beginning to end. So I wonder how Netflix portrayed it. Apparently, it was very good because every time I would see it trending and I would read about it, people had nothing but great things to say about it. So, so yeah. Wow, this is running at 112 minutes and 23 seconds. So that is 2 hours, I guess. this this shouldn't have been that long, but anyways, I've enjoyed myself and hopefully you guys have as well. You know what's a discussion that I want to make? My opinion on some conspiracy theories. So I have been on the works for that, but I just haven't had a lot of time to put my mind into it. Go to bed, time checker. Actually, I should be going to bed because I have one of those super early shifts. Like at my shift, my shift starts at 6:30, and usually I wake up at 5 a.m. And based on your comment, it's already 12:02, so that gives me 5 hours of sleep. It's all good. It shouldn't be too much of a tough day, except that this is the week of Thanksgiving. So yeah, but anyways, I'm off on Tuesday, so I should be alright. They kept you in suspense with 13 Reasons Why. You know what? The book also did that. The book consistently would keep you in suspense to the point that I felt tempted to like skip 3 pages and then look at it and see what was happening. Because when you read, you create an image in your head. Well, for me, the speed that I was reading and the image that I was creating in my mind just wasn't fast enough. So I just wanted to flip through the pages and be like, what's going to happen in a few seconds? But I cared so much about every single detail that I could not just cheat like that. I remained disciplined and I waited until I got to the page that I needed to get to see the story unfold. I like that as well. I might miss you and you should get your rest soon. I'm definitely going to miss her, but not now. Well, guys, this brings me to the conclusion of this stream, given that I am concerned for my energy levels tomorrow and also my sleeping well being. It has been my pleasure. I started incredibly lonely, not literally, but just with zero people, and then little by little, you Earthlings started integrating into my life. So It's been amazing. I had no idea that I was going to discuss Marvel inside of a DC video, but it was entertaining. And you guys also ensured that I made it to the next day by remaining hydrated. So I incredibly appreciate your intervention. And I'm trying to add so much drama to like my dismissal, but I'm failing miserably. I'm actually kind of tired because since I started my day kind of early for a day off, my energy level just hasn't been at its peak today. Like I actually felt like lifting stuff fatigued me from some reason, and I feel like I'm having to catch my breath for some reason. So I just probably need to just chill out for a bit. Yeah, I forgot what I was going to say, but anyways. Um, one more time. Oh, you want to see some more hair twirl? Sure, I'll do it for you. I can't believe you put the pinky up. You know, people pick on me so much about the way I drink, because usually, yeah, like, let me not think about it. Yeah, usually this is how I hold a cup, and people just pick on me about it. But at that time, when I went like, I did that on purpose to be extra dramatic. But yeah, typically this is how I grab a cup, and not only that, I typically drink with my left hand. So if you ever notice that I'm taking a shower instead of drinking my water, is because I just don't have a good control when it comes to dispensing with my right hand as I do with my left. So, so yeah, like anytime I pour something, I use my left hand. It can be super heavy, like to the point that my wrist is like all bent, but I have to do it with my left hand because otherwise, where I think the liquid is going is just not going. so, so anyways, she's a snob. I mean, I'm here. This is a channel on a website, and a website is supposed to be entertaining. So, as an entertainer or aspiring entertainer, of course, I have to make things dramatic and funny and whatever. Are you right handed or left? I'm actually right handed, but I have this weird thing to where there are things that I dominate better with my left. Like if I were to drive with just one hand, I do better steering with my left. Um, when it comes to dispensing things, I do it better with my left. Whenever I'm running a register and I'm scanning, I scan better from left to right. And then whenever I'm bagging for someone, I do better reaching for stuff with my left hand and then placing it in the bag. And then if I'm playing softball, I bat I bat with my left leg ahead. So on the left side of the field. So I guess that's the right-handed position. And when I'm skateboarding, I place my right foot on the board. Yeah. So I don't want to say I'm ambidextrous because I think that means that I'm equally good with both hands, but there is some stuff that I do better with my left than my right. My mom is the same way, to where she cooks and does a lot of things with her left hand, but when it comes to writing, she's right-handed. And I think she has more strength with her left hand. When it comes to lifting in this fashion, my left hand is stronger, but when it comes to curling something, my right hand is stronger. And I don't know, I'm just completely uneven when it comes to that. So yeah, yeah. I think those are all the examples that I can think of how I possibly switch things. So, so yep. Um, the hair. I was kidding. Are you ambidextrous? Nope. I'm the same way, predominantly right-handed, but I can write with both. I have practiced so much to write with both of my hands, but I just can't do it. Like my brain doesn't function that way. I can actually throw a football with my right hand. I should have basketball with my right. I shoot weapons with my right. I do crazy stuff. I'm ambidextrous. Yes, it's the right hand for baseball. I taught myself to bat left-handed as a kid. It was surprisingly easy. I have tried, but for me, grabbing the handle is kind of awkward. So, yeah, this way is better. Anyways, guys, I'm going to bail now. Call it quits. Conclude. It's really been fun, so I appreciate you guys for coming out, or just finding me, really, because I definitely did not announce the stream. It was kind of a surprise. But yeah, so I'm gonna finish the rest of this, and to prove that I'm not making this up, I'm going to finish the rest of this. Well, probably not the rest of it, but at least refill my cup like halfway. And yep, just get some sleep. So, yeah, I'm going to try to not do secret streams so that you guys can probably like arrive on time or something. Um, but yeah, I should be announcing soon enough when my next stream that I keep saying that I'm gonna do this week is going to be. It's just that I need to look at my schedule again. Um, so yeah, but it's going to be either um, Wednesday or Thursday, but I want to be sure before I officialize it. So if this were like 2012, this would have been my peak hour too, because I was never on bed. I guess that explains why when I upload a video really late at night, it has like 5 views already. It has to be you guys. One day I will get you a spider ring out of the Cracker Jack box. All right. All right, guys, I am quitting now. So, once again, thanks so much, and I hope all of you guys have a good night. Yeah, the age, but I got a video dedicated to. Oh, Aaron, that was harsh. Like, see, the princess did a video inspired by me. That was cold, but I love it. Sorry, DH, but you got old, bro. Yeah, there's nothing I can do about that. You know what I'm saying? So, I can get a series. Well, I wouldn't put it like that, but since you believe in yourself like that, yeah. Well, in a sense, he kinda did get a video sort of dedicated to him, because in my stream from earlier I talked about personality and the zodiac, and I believe he was the guy to say something about that. So that is something that I probably would not have discussed, or at least not soon, not this soon, if it hadn't been for his contribution. It's so good. All right, well, I'll let you guys keep fighting while I go to sleep. And please do give me a good spectacle to wake up to. Just kidding. All right, guys. Good night.